Ang ipon din ang inaasahan nila na panggagalingan ng pambili ng sasakyan, bahay, at pangsuporta sa retirement. So, Filipinos want to be mobile. Halos 8 sa bawat 10 respondent ang nais ay magkaroon ng sariling sasakyan. At 2 lamang ang mas gusto ng good public transportation. Kahit na sa focus group discussion ay lumalabas ang kahalagahan ng physical mobility sa mga Pilipino. Ang pinakagustong leisure activity ay ang pamamasyal sa iba't ibang lugar sa Pilipinas o sa abroad. Kasama na sa pamamasyal ang pagdalaw sa kanilang mga magulang. So, ito ang aming pagsasalarawan ng kalidad na buhay na nais ng bawat Pilipino. May sariling bahay, sa isang urban center o syudad, may sasakyan, nakakapagbakasyon at nakakadalaw sa kanilang mga magulang na may edad na. In other words, here is the vision of Filipinos for self. In 2040, we will all enjoy a stable and comfortable lifestyle, secure in the knowledge that we have enough for our daily needs and unexpected expenses, that we can plan and prepare for our own and our children's future. Our family lives together in a place of our own, yet we have the freedom to go where we choose, protected and enabled by a clean, efficient, and fair government. And that is the life we want.
Next is a short video of realizing the vision. This video was taped by former Secretary Emmanuel Esguerra.
I guess at this point, the question that many of you may have in mind is whether this vision is realistic. For us in NEDA, the answer is a resounding yes. It is possible with the right policies. We recognize, however, that government has a critical role to play in supporting the realization of these aspirations. Government needs to provide enabling conditions to help Filipinos build up their resources, including physical, intellectual, and financial, by fostering sustained economic growth, investing in people, and protecting them against instability. The government also needs to provide the appropriate rules of the game and ensure that these are enforced fairly and equally. Sustained public investments to close the country's infrastructure gap will be important in removing bottlenecks that have limited the potential of various sectors of the economy and in allowing the benefits of growth to be spread more widely. We also need to provide an environment that fosters competition and rewards innovation, as they are critical for long-term growth. Government also needs to sustain public investments in the country's most important asset, its people. Investments in health and education will ensure the availability of a healthy, highly trainable and skilled labor force, allow the poor to benefit more from growth, and foster the development of a more entrepreneurial society. The state also needs to adequately protect the citizens against social, environmental, and economic instability. This includes the provision of protection against peace and security threats, as well as health and environmental risks. As regards institutions, the FGD and survey results clearly indicate the strong demand for a clean, efficient, and service-oriented government. Filipinos believe that eliminating corruption is important in achieving a better future. Not only large-scale grand corruption, but also small-scale, petty corruption, the kind that victimizes the poorest among us. Ease and efficiency of government transactions is likewise considered important. Empirical studies indicate that with the right policies, improvements in productivity and efficiency can triple our gross national per capita income to about $11,000 in 25 years, allowing majority of our people to enjoy nearly high-income country standards of living. Note that over the last 33 years, 1981 to 2014, and weigh down the efforts to eradicate poverty. On the other hand, if inequality declines significantly, poverty cuts are deeper, and the process of eradicating poverty is shorter. The analysis suggests that if strong growth is accompanied by reductions in inequality, Poverty could be eradicated before 2040. In other words, it is very possible that the Philippines shall be a country where all citizens are free from hunger and poverty, have equal opportunities, enabled by fair and just society that is governed with order and unity. A nation where families live together, thriving in vibrant, culturally diverse, and resilient communities.
So first, on the side of government, we firmly believe that the vision is achievable, just like former Secretary Esguerra said. We recognize that it will be challenging and requires government to make full use of its policy arsenal, including fiscal, monetary, and regulatory policies. For fiscal policy, apart from supporting macroeconomic stability, our spending program should strategically address capacity constraints, increase competitiveness, encourage innovation, reduce inequality, and build up resiliency. Among the priority sectors that should be considered are those related to the housing and urban development, manufacturing, and connectivity. So more on the hard infrastructure. And also in education, tourism, finance, health, and agriculture. So actually this is, the priorities are cross-cutting in nature because we would want every sector to be part of development. Well, this is also in line with the tenets of inclusive growth, that no one is left behind. So what will it take? On the other hand, monetary and financial sector policy should support low and stable inflation, steady growth, and financial inclusion. Regulatory policy should be geared towards promoting competition, reducing externalities and cost of doing business, ensuring consumer protection, as well as justice, security, and peace. So, I will be discussing the role of social policy in this long-term vision. Actually, medyo dako ang 120,000 for a family. Hindi nga maglabot ang sweldo sa ordinary Filipino. We believe that with a comprehensive economic and social policy, the effective cost of mobility, food, shelter, education, leisure can be reduced substantially, make it easier for Filipinos to achieve their aspirations. So, for a current middle class family, average income for 5 is 45,700. To reach 120,000 by 2040, this income level would have to grow by 2.6 times. To reach 57,000 by 2040, incomes would have to grow by a more achievable 1.25 times. So if we will undergo the reforms and the policies that needed to be in place for the next 25 years, we will have reductions in what is required for every aspiration. So overall, this can be reduced to a gross monthly income of 57,000, which is more or less more achievable than 120,000. So if the right policies are in place, for a car, because majority of Filipinos want to own a car, if the proper public transportation, efficient public transportation is in place, we could reduce that to 3,000 just for the daily commute. And then we can also, depends on the prices of basic needs for everyday needs of a family. We can reduce the 40,000 day-to-day needs from 40,000 to 20,000. So it depends on how the policies and the programs of government and how the private sector will support these policies. We can more or less have these goals more achievable for us. So that's what I've been saying earlier. So our 120,000 target could be reduced to 57,000 if reforms and policies that will enable us to better achieve our goals. For instance, an enabling social policy should help our young citizens avoid or at least recover from child marriage. This example is for a young girl, adolescent girl. At least to recover or avoid leaving school, repeat pregnancies, child illness, maternal morbidity, informal work, insecurity, and displacement. Just to illustrate, it is ideal if we have a strategic, comprehensive enablement policy that follows the life of an adolescent girl. The blue progression is the ideal life of a girl as she matures, which is made possible by a social policy. The red section is when the girl marries and gives birth at a young age. So a comprehensive and enabling social policy is one that supports the girl throughout her life stages, such that if a girl is in the red line, when she makes poor choices or is forced into a situation,